Hey guys, welcome back. So look at this, the purple iPhone 11. It's late 2025, and honestly, seeing this color again, it just hits different. This isn't my main phone anymore, and it's not really my daily driver either. I've just been using it for the last few weeks specifically for this review, kind of like a life update with an old friend. Now, before we get into the heavy stuff, I gotta tell you, I actually went out and replaced the battery on this thing. It's sitting at 100% battery health. So this is basically the best case scenario for an iPhone 11 right now. It's fresh. But even with that new battery and even running the latest iOS 26, is it enough? In this video, I'm gonna be super real with you. We're gonna talk about how this 6 years old phone handles the new liquid glass design in iOS 26, the thermal issues, yeah, it gets warm, and the big one, Apple Intelligence, or, well, the lack of it. And finally, I'm gonna tell you why. If you're still holding on to this, the iPhone 17 might actually be the upgrade we've all been waiting for. Let's dive in. Okay, first up, let's talk design. And honestly, having the iPhone 17 right here side by side with the 11, the generation gap is massive. It's like looking at two different eras of Apple history. The iPhone 11 has these rounded aluminum edges. I have to admit, it's actually really comfortable to hold. It fits into the palm nicely. There are no sharp corners digging into your hand. It's got that glossy glass back that, let's be real, loves fingerprints. And down here, the relic, the lightning port. Remember this. Finding a cable for this in 2025 is starting to feel like a treasure hunt. Now, compare that to the iPhone 17. It's a completely different DNA. We've had this flat edge design for a while now, but seeing it next to the 11, it just looks so much more industrial and modern. The back is this beautiful color-infused matte glass that feels super premium and doesn't smudge nearly as much. And finally, down here, USB-C. One cable for your laptop, your iPad, and your phone. It's just peace of mind. But the biggest physical difference isn't just the shape, it's the controls. On the 11, you have the classic mute switch, click, click, simple, but on the 17, that's gone. You've got the action button, which I use for everything from focus modes to flashlights, and lower down on the right side, there is the new camera control button. It's a dedicated physical button just for taking photos and zooming. And then there's the front. The iPhone 11 has those thicker bezels and the old notch. The 17 is basically all screen, with the dynamic island floating up top, bubbling with live activities. It makes the 11 look a bit like a toy compared to a tool. I'm running iOS 26 on here, and I have to give credit to Apple. The new liquid glass aesthetic looks really satisfying on this LCD screen. The icons, the blur effects, it's honestly beautiful. But here's the thing, in my experience, the animation looks fluid because the design is good, but because this hardware is 6 years old, it feels like slow motion. It's not that it's lagging exactly, it's not snappy. When you compare it to an iPhone 13 or 14, you feel the difference. And don't even get me started on the newer ProMotion displays. This screen is still 60 Hz. Back in 2019, that was fine. But in 2025, when you're scrolling through feeds or switching apps, that 60 Hz feels kinda heavy. It's like dragging your finger through water instead of air. It works, it's usable, but once you see 120 Hz, you can't unsee it. Let's talk raw performance. I ran Geekbench 6 on this guy, and the numbers are interesting. I got a 1690 on single core and 3015 on multi-core. For the GPU, I got a Metal score of 12,477. Now look, for a 6-year-old device, that is absolutely a beast mode score. It proves that the A13 Bionic chip was way ahead of its time. But we gotta be honest about today's standards. That multi-core score is practically over half of what the new chips are doing. I tried playing Genshin Impact and FC Mobile on here, and yeah, it plays them. You can definitely game, but you gotta keep those settings on low or mid-low. And even then, man, this phone gets warm. Like really warm. It's just hardware aging. The A13 has to work so hard just to keep up with modern game engines that the heat builds up fast and then the screen dims and it's just not a great time. It's impressive that it runs, but it's definitely showing its age. So software, iOS 26. Like I said, it looks great, but this is where we hit a wall. This phone has an old chip and 4 GB of RAM, and that means no Apple Intelligence. Honestly, for me, it's not a deal breaker. I know everyone is hyping up the on-device AI, but because this phone is basically in beta territory for those features anyway, I usually just use alternatives. I'll open up Gemini or ChatGPT if I need to write something or summarize a text. But, and this is a big but, it's the friction, you know? On a new iPhone, that AI is built into the system. Here, I have to open an app, wait for it to load, which takes a second because of that RAM limit, and then do my thing. It works, but it's not seamless. And with iOS 26 being so heavy, background apps close pretty fast. So if I switch out of ChatGPT to check an email and come back, boom, reload. It's those little seconds that add up. Camera-wise, look, the iPhone 11 is decent. For point and shoot, just snapping a pic of your coffee or a sunset for Instagram, it's still really capable. The video quality too has that smooth Apple stabilization we all love, but we're living in a 48 megapixel world now. When you look at photos from this phone on a big screen, or if you try to crop in, you really see the difference. We don't have the new fancy software tweaks, no action mode stabilization, and low light is okay, but noisy. If you aren't pixel peeping, you'll be fine. But if you compare it side by side with even an iPhone 15 or 17, yeah, you can tell the sensor is from 2019. Now battery, this is important. I told you I have 100% battery health, brand new battery, and it still kind of sucks. I'm sorry, but it does. It just doesn't get me through a whole day of daily usage. And that's not the battery's fault, it's the phone. Apps today are performance hungry. iOS 26 is doing so much in the background. The A13 chip has to run at full power just to do basic stuff that a newer chip would do while sleeping. So even with a fresh cell, you're looking at charging by late afternoon if you're actually using the phone. It's just simple hardware aging physics, you know? So here's the verdict. The iPhone 11, it's legendary. It's amazing that a 6-year-old phone is even usable, let alone this good. But is it worth buying in late 2025? No. Is it time to upgrade? Honestly, yes. And I'm gonna tell you exactly why. The iPhone 17 just came out, and for the first time, the base model, the regular iPhone 17, same price as last year, has Pro Motion, that 120Hz display. For the longest time, that was the gap between regular and Pro, but now that huge upgrade is standard. Plus, you get the A19 chip, which is a massive performance jump. You get USB-C, so you can finally ditch the lightning cables, and you get a battery that actually lasts a solid day because the chip is efficient. And of course, you get the real Apple Intelligence experience if you care about that. If you've been holding onto your iPhone 11 for 6 years, you've done your time. You got your money's worth. But upgrading to the iPhone 17 this year, that is gonna feel like an insane leap. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments if you're still rocking the 11 or if you're finally making the switch. Catch you in the next one.